Whenever somebody starts speaking in absolutes when it comes to terms of two people getting along as a team, that's never good. You're gonna hear this through line a lot with me. I don't think there's enough communication. Why the are you guys communicating through me? Why don't you talk to each other? Hello, everyone, coming to you live from somewhere. I'm John Cena, and I'm responsible today for listening to and accordingly settling petty disputes from strangers. Seems like a responsible choice. I am firmly up to the task. Why am I uniquely qualified to judge these dramas? I was available. That's the benchmark here. Let's get started. Order in this chaotic courtroom.
I'm over 40 and my wife wanted me to get into better shape so I could stick around a bit longer. It's not a bad reason to lose weight. But now that I'm shredded, she's telling me that she misses my dad bod. This is the healthiest I have ever been, so I don't understand.
I need more info on this. I cannot wait to hear the other side of this story, because at face value, and this is something that's really tough nowadays when you look at headlines, criticized for being healthy, gosh, it makes me feel one way, and that's the glorious gravity of clickbait. You feel a certain way about a piece of opinion before you even read the whole article. So right now, they hooked me with the clickbait. This guy is being ridiculed for being healthy. But I really need to hear the defense on this one, because something about this doesn't check out.
I am so happy my husband got rid of his beer belly and started taking care of himself. But this is too much. I miss his squishy, huggable body. Now he's obsessed with protein shakes and maximizing his gains.
Having passion about something is great. That's the purpose. That's what keeps us waking up in the morning. If the person who's trying to get in better shape is literally moving forward just because you miss the person that they are, that's not fair. You got to meet this person where they're at. And if this person has found passion and purpose through health and fitness, the byproduct is they're not going to be as squishy, and that's fine. But coming from circles where I've seen fitness as an obsession, that's wrong. To say, oh man, I miss your squishy body. Well, that's a facet of the old person's characteristics that you miss. And in their transformation, they could have a whole new bunch of traits that you can now discover and find out that you love. But if the person's life has changed so much where this is their North Star, and I use the term obsession when it affects everything else in your life. If you're going out to eat and you're bringing your own food into Tupperware, or if you are squandering your professional life and your personal connections through this one lens, that becomes an obsession. And you probably need to take it down a notch and turn it down into the passion dial. I gotta say kudos to the person getting healthy, because man, you wanna move around when you're old, move around when you're young. The lady's defense, just because she misses the way somebody felt, doesn't sound too fair. So I gotta rule this one in favor of the person getting in shape. Next case.
We were visiting my parents for our Sunday brunch, and I looked over to see that my husband, Dwayne, was secretly watching WrestleMania on his iPhone. And it wasn't even live. It was a replay of WrestleMania 41.
This couple agreed to go someplace. And, a lot of that is saying, I'm gonna do this, and saying, I will be present when I'm there. What I hear from this side of the story, half of the team was not present. There are three sides to every story, yours, mine, and the truth. And this side clearly says that, my partner agreed to go someplace and be present with me. And when I needed them there, they weren't exactly present. Not a good look, but is there a defense? Do we have a defense, or is that the dispute?
We have a defense.
Okay, let's go to the defense.
I don't understand what the big deal is. We have brunch with my in-laws every week. Yes, I was watching the match, but they weren't talking about anything nearly as important as seeing Cody Rhodes get knocked down a peg. Boo, Cody, boo.
Trying to really butter me up with enthusiasm. I was probably the one who knocked Cody Rhodes down a peg, so I appreciate going for my heartstrings by telling me I did a good job. But here's where I think you failed. It doesn't matter how many times you're associating with your family. If anything, it should emphasize the importance of you wanting to be present for your partner when you visit their family. To me, this is a classic case of saying you're going to be present and then being distracted. And you never know, it could be that one sentence or that one moment where you could learn something about your in-laws or people you love or connected with that could mean the world. So If you're not there, you don't have a chance. The husband on this one is absolutely guilty for not being present. It's such a long day. When's lunch? Whatever. Next case.
I was going on a third date with this guy, but he wasn't there when I showed up. Sure, okay, I was 15 minutes late, but look, I don't wake up like this, okay? Beauty takes time. And at least I communicated that I was going to be late, and he just ghosted.
Not too big on tardiness. I think that's one of the few things you can control, but sometimes there are reasons to be late. What I do like about when things go wrong is taking ownership of what happened. Apparently, from this version of the truth, the lady in question admitted she was going to be late, and I think that's the best thing that you can do. If a force majeure happens, just communicate with people. Hey, this is beyond my control. It's going to cost me 15 minutes. I'll be there. Rather than trying to make up some crazy excuse when you get there 15 minutes late, just be honest and let people know. So, although I don't like the tardiness thing, because I'm the guy who shows up to the airport 8 hours early, but communicating that something's gone wrong, that's a plus in my book. I got to hear the defense on this one.
For the record, I did show up, and if she were there on time, she would know that. She's been late for every single date. I'm sick of it, so I left. If she can't bother to show up on time, I won't tell her I'm leaving. It's called karma.
Okay, two people that just don't see through the same lens. And this is how you find out if you got chemistry and hopefully the kit to functioning, long-lasting love. If you are the yin to somebody's yang, you embrace their ability to be quirky or not on time, and you give them that grace. If it is really something that eats you up, and this is the third date, so this is kind of when you know a relationship's gonna work or not gonna work. And this person is punctual and I don't think has the mental bandwidth to extend grace to someone who can't keep an honest clock. Whenever somebody starts speaking in absolutes when it comes to terms of two people getting along as a team, that's never good. I'm gonna call this one a draw. I think there's guilt on all sides here. I think the person who left the meal early should have expressed the very first time that, like, hey, when you start talking on a first date and you start talking about things you like, say punctuality. Say that's important to you and express why it's important to you. The most precious thing we have, guys, is time, and you're wasting yours watching me. So go do something with your life. While I'm really invested in these disputes and I'm trying to judge them fairly. And for me, this one's a double count out. You're gonna hear this through line a lot with me. I don't think there's enough communication. Why the fuck are you guys communicating through me? Why don't you talk to each other? The next and final, and it's not the final case. It's a long day. No lunch to be had. You know, a hungry judge is a harsh judge. So let's see what happens.
I was in an Uber with my mentor, and I noticed that she requested a quiet mode ride, which basically means she doesn't want to hear a peep from the driver. The driver then asked us how the temperature was, and because of that, she gave the driver 3 stars instead of 5. That's so rude.
The conundrum, right? Giving someone a subpar review because they want to make sure your ride is comfortable. This affects this person's livelihood. A lot of us out there have done ride sharing before. You want a high amount of stars. The lower on the star end you go, you might be feeling that it's unsafe. Let's find out if it indeed was just one question. The two things that stick out here is this person is a person of guidance and leadership. They're a mentor. There is no banter back and forth. One thing was said, which leads to a bad review. Is that how you want to guide people to be their best selves? So let's hear the defense and see what the rest of the case is.
When I ask for a quiet ride, I demand absolute silence. That's why the app has that feature, and that's why they have a rating system. It's not a big deal, and I'm the one paying for it.
I would say that the mentor in question needs some mentorship. I completely understand and hear their perspective of this is the service I'm paying for. There's a lot of moving parts and human beings are interacting with human beings. You can fault them for making a mistake, but say something. How's the temperature back there? It's fine. I requested a quiet ride and I use these ride shares in order to get myself mentally focused for the next hurdle. Is it okay if for the rest of the ride there is no banter? Just knock once on the glass if it's a yes. Knock twice if it's a no. That way you don't even have to have any talk anymore. But like, man, that's just too harsh for me. That is a person feeling themselves a little too much, and I understand you want what you pay for, but I would say take a deep breath, especially as someone who's trying to guide and mentor the future of the workplace or whatever you are mentoring, a few deep breaths and a little more empathy. The mentor is guilty.
Have you ever driven anyone?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was a limo driver. It was before navigation, so I had a Randall McNally map, and I was, 19 at the time. And I was a football player and a amateur bodybuilder. I used to have my food in the Lincoln Town car, and it was tuna fish and boiled chicken and rice in Tupperware for 8 hours. And I was from West Newbury, Massachusetts, picking people up at Logan Airport and delivering them to all over Massachusetts. I'd never been on a highway before, and there were not even any cell phones. Needless to say, I lasted about 3.5 months as a limo driver before I was let go. I sucked. All right, well, it's been a good run, but it has to come to an end. Final case, let's hear it.
My buddy Trent is one of my 10 groomsmen. I told all the guys, no show socks with loafers. That's the look. Trent shows up on the wedding day in sandals, thinking he's some kind of Jason Momoa free spirit. And now in every photo, everyone's going to be staring at his dogs instead of my husband.
I get the groomsmen wanting to have freedom of expression, but it ain't your day, pal. So I got to hear the other version of this one because I'm ready to hit the gavel right now. This argument needs to be convincing, so let's see what's going on.
Those were Prada sandals, and I looked amazing. I had a pedicure, my toes were out and proud, and no-show socks are humiliating. Also, to be honest, I have a little athlete's foot, and the doctor said I could only wear sandals.
We don't need to pontificate on this one. Not your day, pal. Sorry. A wedding is an emotional moment between two people who have gathered those they love to hold them accountable for their love and let them enjoy a moment between the two people getting married. This is the groomsmen completely going into business for themselves on a day that is not theirs. It is their luxury to be there, not their purpose. So, groomsman is guilty. The worst wedding faux pas I've ever witnessed involves myself. My younger brother got married. My wedding gift at the time to them was to keep the bar open, which seemed like an awesome idea. My brother dancing nudges into me, and I nudged him back like a brother would. If he nudges into me again, it's like a scene from a movie. I nudge him again. He nudges me again, and I just say, fuck this, clear the dance floor and form tackle him, and away we go. I'm in a fitted tux that I got made for the event. It's the first custom suit I've ever got, ripped to shreds. You could tell who had the last name Cena and who was the other party, because the other party was like, hey, we need to stop this. And the scene was like, no, you just gotta let him work it out. So my brother and I fought to, not to the death, to just drunken exhaustion. We each went back to the hotel. I grabbed a 6-pack, got in his room, and we had a beer, and we were past it. But it's weird at a wedding. My brother wanted to rip my clothes off, and I wanted to rip his clothes off. I don't know, whatever. So many years ago. We've changed, we've grown. That is as cool as it looks on TV. All right.